Okay, so as we're going to kind of review these next 2 weeks, I said before that we're going to go through this bit by bit. There's different chunks that I want to go through, and the first one is our humble beginning with the linear function. The way that I want us to do this recap sheet is a new style. It's called a mind map, and I'll kind of draw it out as we go. A mind map is basically ways to just connect the dots together on this central idea. We begin first talking about what is a function and what does it mean to be linear. A function looks like this. So if I had to draw a box, you can say a function looks like this, f of x. What it has is it has an input and it has an output. It has x as its input and whatever it comes out as the output. So we're going to put that as two boxes. So we have input x as one of the boxes. And then whatever the function is, we call that the output. So we say the output is f of x. So I'm going to put that in another box. That's how we define a function. The same will go for a linear function where I plug something in, I get something out. Sometimes we have to figure out what a function is. And so how do you determine a function? So that's also a recap as to what it is. How to determine. The way that we can determine a function is what we call the vertical line test. This is actually something new that I haven't taught, and so I'm going to explain it here. What is the vertical line test? The vertical line test tells us whether or not something is a function. For instance, if I'm going to draw this as my graph, I'm going to draw this random shape. Essentially, what we're going to do is that we're going to draw a vertical line, and we're going to take this vertical line and kind of move it across the graph. So notice I'm going to move this vertical line from left to right. If it goes from left to right, notice what it does. I'm looking here and I'm noticing that the vertical line touches the graph once. And so that is what the vertical line test is if the vertical line touches the graph once. So I'm going to write that down. If the line touches function once. And so for me, I'm going to put like a red check mark right there. That's cool. A counter example of that would just be me drawing this. So here's another function, but I draw something like this. Imagine if I had something like this. So that is what we consider not a function. And I'm going to do this in a different color, sorry. So imagine this in yellow is my function. This is not a function. Here's why. I'm going to take the vertical line, and I can see here that in this vertical line, in this vertical line, if I move it and I drag it, notice that it touches it twice. So notice here, as I go from left to right, it's the white line is touching it twice across. And then here, it touches it multiple times. So therefore, that is not a function. So if I had to go back, I could say that this is a no. This is not a function. And then what we can do is we can box this. So that's the vertical line test. So that's all I want us to talk about with the function.